two kids from Queens, cut from a different cloth. Now joining forces, helping you to elevate your personal brand. Yeah, I'm talking about Nicky and Moose, bringing you a never-before-seen perspective into the mindset, the mentality, the behaviors, the driving force, but more importantly, the stories behind the people and brands that you know and love the most.
Was poppin'. Welcome, Nicky and Moose. I'm Nikki. That's Moose. What's up, Moose?
What up, y'all?
And this is the YouTube livey. YouTubies. Look, we got a celebrity in the building. Hold on, let me see if I get it. Oh, why is it small?
Wow.
Hold up. Let's get that. Let's get that right here. I like this transparent. We got Inky in the building. All right. We got Inky. What's up, Ink? Everybody go check. Let me get this right. Everybody go check his podcast out. It is a whole vibe. Serendipity with Inky Johnson on the new podcast network. Moose, what's the podcast network called? What is it called? What?
I thought you may have had a chance to practice a little bit.
What is the new podcast network called?
The Resonance Podcast Network, ladies and gentlemen. Check it out.
Hey, I still can't say it right. But it is what it is, all right? It is what it is. Shout out to Jersey in the building, right? It's first time watching. Now, listen to you.
Welcome.
Right. We here for it. We are here for it. Look, let me set this off right. Shout out to everybody who is in the chat right now. Shout out to everybody who's watching this replay, all that great stuff. If you are live, if this hits any kind of value for you or anything like that, there is this super chat little feature down there with look like a $sign. Hit us with a sticker, hit us with a tip, whatever you want to do is super appreciated, and you get an air horn. We get air horns out here. You know what I mean? We get air horns. But okay, where do we want to go first? The recap of... I already rolled my eyes. That's horrible. Are we going to talk about the recap of this last episode? Are we going to talk about why I just rolled my eyes? Do we want to go straight into the lesson? What do we want to do? What do we want to do, Moose?
No, let's give them a recap of the last episode.
Okay.
Last episode was another action-packed week in the business world, the branding world. So I think it'll be cool to refresh on that. Definitely got to let them know what's on your heart, though. I know it's tough. So yeah, let's do the recap and we'll go to that, then jump into the lesson. For those tuning in today, we're going to talk about setting up your content strategy. So yeah, let's get it.
Fair. Okay, so episode 24. We're up to 24. We're up to 24.
24. No, 25.
No, we're up to 24.
But what is it? Buzzsprout said 25.
Yeah, but because we have the trailer. You see how we have regular conversations? This is not planned.
Wow.
Episode 24 came out this morning, and we talked about verses, we talked about Biggie, we talked about people, we talked about Cardi, we talked about a lot of stuff. Moose, what is your favorite part and why?
Man, I think the acquisition of Versus, or just that whole partnership with them and Triller, I think that's been
right.
Wow,
that got you. That got you real. Hold on.
Yeah.
He covered you all the way. He's like,
good.
first time. Listen, okay, we're gonna get why my little live stream is crazy right now. Okay, we're gonna break it down.
More info on that coming up.
I promise.
No, but man, I think that was a big move, man. I think that was a big move, and I'm excited to see it. And I think, especially for the way business is being done right now, for those with personal brands, those who are starting and never had an actual product. Traditionally, we know that business was done or business was sold and acquired when there's a big product or, a cloud-based service, something like that, software. But now it's ideas that are being sold and people are getting some level of equity and ownership through it. So this is definitely a good episode to listen into, man. This is a good one.
Absolutely. Isaiah, I see you. Super chat. I see you. I told you, air horns. We're not going to do it all because I will I will stop the whole live to just do air horns, so we're not going to do that. But I would say my favorite part is actually the Biggie part, which wasn't, like, it was planned and then it wasn't planned. This is the thing with podcasting, right? The way we try to do it is we try to have a system and like talk about the topics. Sometimes we talk about the topics on that particular day, right? But I think, what was it? That week we said, yo, we're going to talk about Biggie. I said it. And then on the day of, I gave the topics we were going to talk about, totally forgot about Biggie. And then during the podcast, I was like,
remembered it on the spot.
hello, let's talk about Biggie.
Right.
We cannot. But that whole thing about documenting, I'm still shocked about all the unseen footage. Like, what is this? Like 20 years later or something like that?
Yeah.
It was
93 to 97. Yeah.
Yeah, so just to see so much that was documented, it is still incredible. Now, on the flip side, I wonder if that puts pressure on like Tupac's camp. Like, that's my thing. Like, you know, he has a whole guap of songs. I still think Tupac has songs we still haven't heard, which is crazy. Because what was it? It was like 5-7 years straight we kept hearing a new Tupac album. I was like, yo, what are we doing?
Right.
I still, low key, I still question if my man is in Cuba. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yo, you remember that rumor?
I'm not gonna lie.
Tupac coming back September, whatever. They kept saying that forever. Yeah.
Well, so this is the thing. Okay, let's have this conversation real quick. And anybody like who feels me on this, just let me know. All right. They had a whole huge ceremony for Biggie. We all remember that. That was documented. His like casket, the suit he wore, everything, everybody's reaction to it and how much love he got. I didn't hear anything about a service, a funeral, where he's buried, nothing for Tupac. I don't know. Maybe that's me, but oh well. I'm just saying. I'm not trying to. It's just a thought. It's just a thought. But anyways, so yeah, go check out episode 24. Check that out. Now let's talk about my frustration. Okay, Moose, set this up because you know I can go really.
Yeah, so I'll give you guys the cliff notes, man. So typically we record Saturdays at 8 p.m., right? So typically that's our time. We got, spend a Saturdays around 8 o'clock, we plug in. So it's like 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and then I get a text. I'm at the mall with the fam, and I get a text from Nikki, and she says, hey, can you record a little later? My computer just crashed, but it might be same time. It might be same time still. So I'm like, yeah, no problem. Sure. Cool. So mind you, it never came back from the crash. It stayed in the crash. What ended up happening to the computer? Tell him.
Okay. So once again, this is why it's important to document everything, because certain people saw my frustration throughout the course of the weekend till today, right? So I don't know what happened, right? All of a sudden, I'm on my computer, mind you. I have a huge iMac, dual screen, all that great stuff. Realize how spoiled I really am right now, okay? So if you're like, Nikki, no one wants to hear this, that's okay. You're going to hear this for a little bit, and then we're going to get into the branding strategy kind of vibes, okay? But understand this situation. First off, if you are working off of solely a laptop, and you have been working for over a year at home, and you actually do more than just looking at pretty pictures and email, I highly suggest you use an iMac. The reason why I say this, and they're not paying me, I promise you, they're not, but it makes life so much easier, okay? So one day, I was working, it crashed. It never came back. Ever in life. I don't know what happened. Okay. I tried again, and it never came back. The next day, I tried again, it never came back. I'm confused. Apple. I call Apple because that's what you're supposed to do. I have Apple Care. Shout out to everybody who has Apple Care, right? I have Apple Care. I found out I'm on the last month of Apple Care. Why am I saying Apple Care like that? Anyways, so boom, they said we could still fix it. Do this. I'm like, I did that, but I'll do it again. Oh, this is unusual. No one wants to hear this, Apple. No one wants to hear, oh, no, don't do that, right? Okay, well, try this. Small rant, okay? I really had a not intelligent person in the first call. The rest of the calls were great, but not intelligent person, because they were like, okay, we're going to do a screen share. I'm going to go into your computer. Ma'am, the computer doesn't turn on. No, we can still do it. No, it doesn't power on. Like it's in the recovery mode. It doesn't. Mind you, was in IT for over 10 years. I kind of know what I'm talking about, but that's okay. Right? So she's like, no, I'm gonna do it. Hits this button, my laptop gets a notification. Ma'am, that's my laptop. That's not the iMac. I can't get in there. What are you talking? I just told you. Okay, so anyways, she was like, I'm going to give you to my superior. Oh, praise God. Thank you. Superior is really nice. Okay, yeah, no, this is really bad. Can't do nothing about it. It's really kind of screwed up. Got to go to Apple. Okay, cool. Go to Apple today, right? Guy was really nice. I learned to have patience with IT people because I'm an IT person myself. So cool, right? Take your time. Oh, you have a super customized iMac. Yes, I do. I do a lot. Absolutely. This could take up to 10 days. What are you talking about? It could take up to 10 days. Why? All the checks came through that it seems fine, but it could take up to 10 days because if we have to replace something, it's going to be blah 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 blah. So, mind you, now I'm on a whole little laptop. This is all streamed by my laptop. Shout out to MacBook. But I realize I can only do one or two things at a time, and the way my spontaneous multitasking self this is killing me. I don't even know how I did this before, but this is not the point. I just need to let that out. So shout out to everybody who let me say that. Hold on. I see Donovan. With the super chat. Hey. All right. Let's get into this lesson.
You got a couple compliments in the chat though.
What did
Somebody said you're glowing today. They're asking if you got makeup. That's funny. You wear makeup, you're glowing today.
Yeah.
And, that's funny. I like it.
Said that? I don't even know.
I told you. It's funny because before we came on, I said, hey, you're looking a little extra, I don't even want. I'm never going to say it, but yeah, go for it.
No, you said I look extra Puerto Rican. I don't even know how I look extra Puerto Rican.
It was the hoop earrings. I was like, hey, it stands out.
Fair. Shout out to Brandy. I see you, Brandy. I missed the full rant. Oh, Chris, you gotta watch the replay. It's all right. It's here. But let's get into this lesson. Moose, set this off. What we talking about today?
Yeah, man. So thanks again for plugging in, y'all. What happened?
Go ahead. No, Isaiah's super chat was still there.
Oh, got you. Yeah, no, but I was thinking, right, especially, my mind is going toward those who struggle with creating content, one, but then also falling in that struggle of you are a creative person. As a matter of fact, you come up with a lot of great ideas and great content, but it's just not sticking for you, right? Or you can't be consistent with what you're posting, or it's not converting for you, or you're not really communicating who you are the right way so that you can attract the right people to you. You might have the problem where, we've talked about this some months back about someone who has a huge following, but is not able to sell any product or any service. And again, it's not about selling so much, but just that concept, especially for those, on this show, as we like to talk about more so personal brands, as well as businesses. Obviously, at some point, we're looking to add value to others. And if the exchange is monetary, so be it. But today is especially for it. And, as we reverse engineer why some of those challenges happen, most often is because people don't have a well-established, clear, easy to understand, for themselves at least, content strategy that they can follow. Mm-hmm. And you notice that people who are very good with content that sticks, that does all the things that we just mentioned, that can give you challenges, they typically are it almost feels like they're posting the same thing every single time.
Right.
And they never get tired of it because they know exactly what they're doing. So I say, hey, not for nothing, you have obviously someone who's incredible when it comes to branding and social media and everything that you've built, Nikki, over the last couple of years. So I'm like, what the heck? It's only right that we take a step back today. Y'all go ahead and pull out a pen and pad. Let's really walk away with something tangible today that you can, do for your brand. And if you've done this already, it's always good to revisit this. Think of it as a storyboard, think of it as a content strategy, whatever just makes more sense in your brain. It's always good to revisit that so that you can walk away today saying, all right, am I communicating who I am first and foremost appropriately through some of my social media channels, through my content, so that I'm connecting and really attracting the maximum amount of people that I can help. All right. So that's where I really, really wanted to start, Nikki. So yeah, you take it away, whatever you feel is kind of that very first thing that should be thought about or discussed or discovered. What would you do if you were starting a content strategy from scratch today?
I would always say, what is the goal? Like, what's the point? Like, why? I always ask people, like, yo, why are you on social media? Like, the platform, all that great stuff, the content, that'll come later. But sometimes we just don't really know why we're on social media. A lot of us are just like, oh, because I have to grow my brand. Everybody's on it or whatever it is. But there's no really true direction. And so we're kind of moving blindly because we're like, okay, I have to be on this platform because everybody's on this platform. I don't know anything about it. I don't know how it could really benefit my brand, all that great stuff. But I'm on it, so I'm going to make it work. So we have to really figure out why we're on social media and what's the real goal. Like, is it brand awareness? Is it to sell stuff? Is it to build community? Like, why are we on social media? And if you're live, like, put in the comments, like, why you're on social media, right? Even if you're watching the replay, just put in the comments why you're on social media, because I think we tend to forget that. And sometimes we honestly need that, like, stuck on our computer. Right now, mine's is a MacBook. But, we have to stick that, whether it is a MacBook or a desktop or a phone. It should be your screensaver of some sort. Why are we on there? Because we have to remember that. We have to remember, like, how do I put this? We have to get energy somehow, some way to be on social media. And I said this on one of my lives before, where how do we get that new car smell back, right? How do we get that whole, every time I go on social media, I'm excited. I'm checking out all the features. I'm going through it because I just got it kind of vibe, right? So once you figure out why you're on it and you're reminded on a daily basis, let's figure out the platform that we're on. Like, okay, real life question. Moose, why are you on Instagram?
I think I don't know if I'm in the right age bracket. I don't even should say that. Yeah, I don't know. I like Instagram. I think it's I've been on it the longest, so it definitely is a comfort thing.
Okay.
My first social media after Facebook was Instagram,
Mm-hmm.
so I've had that account for the longest.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think I like the way that I'm able to kind of receive the content on that platform from the different features that it has. Yeah.
Okay. And for me, I'm a visual person. And Instagram is super visual. I go live. I can interact with my people. I like the features, right? But it allows me to stay in my natural, right? I don't have to really type too much, even though now I'm at a stage that I can, which is very hard, and I'll get into that later. But this is the platform that has allowed me to be me more. Now I'm starting to do a little bit of LinkedIn. I do a little Twitter here and there, but my main one is going to be Instagram. So I'm always going to say, figure out the platform that you're going to be natural in, that once again, you are excited about, and it can actually get you closer to your goals. Some of you are on TikTok and it doesn't get you closer to your goals because you never identified what your goal was. But you saw TikTok is very organic right now. It's starting to give you an audience that you couldn't reach maybe on a Facebook, an Instagram, or a Twitter. So you're on TikTok, but there's no goal to it. What is the end result? You're going to get followers. Where are you leading them to? That's always my biggest thing. So, platform, where are you going to be the most natural? Are you a writer? Are you an audio person? Are you a visual person? Pick the platform that is good for you. Now, there is an audience everywhere, right? I will say that there's an audience everywhere, so I don't want you to feel pressured as far as, hey, I should go that way, or I should go that way because they said my audience is there. We have accounts on everything. How many accounts do you have, Moose?
On what? Do you mean like all the platforms combined?
Yeah.
4.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. See, I have a lot, but I'm supposed to. But I have a lot, right? And so you probably who are watching have more than 2. You probably have a Twitter, maybe not. May have a LinkedIn, maybe not. Instagram, Facebook, all that great stuff. Clubhouse now. You have multiple ones, right? But which one keeps you in your natural? Which one, right? Go.
Yeah, no. I see where you're going with that. I want to stick around the first one just so that we can kind of make sure we communicate that clearly. So that first one you're saying is identify the reason why you're on the platform, right? Like really having a clear-cut goal for that. Now, give some examples, because you talked about, is it to grow community? Is it to sell a product?
Yep.
Maybe it's to, I don't know, for fun, or even just promote your message. What are those just good enough goals? Is there something else that other people should be thinking about, like outside of, that reason why? Or is it just like, okay, this is why I'm on here and that's good enough?
So the great thing about it is that your real life goals shouldn't really be too separate from your virtual goals, right? So if your goal is to make, 6 figures, let's just say that, just a general goal in life, right? I want to make 6 figures this year. Okay, cool. How are you going to do that, right? Oh, well, I'm going to sell this service. Okay, cool. You need to do that. Now, do people know about this service? Not so much. Okay, so now you have kind of 2 reasons why you're on social media. First, to bring brand awareness so people could understand the brand and understand the services that you provide. And 2, to convert and get them to buy the service, right? So there should be a period, whether and I normally break it down into like week, month, quarter. I can't go too long with a year. I'm not that structured. It's not gonna happen, right? But some people do. Some people have that year goal and stuff like that. So for the week and month, right, I'm looking at it, okay, am I doing brand awareness? And is this month only brand awareness for people to get to understand what this is, who I am, what do I do, build trust into them, all that great stuff, right? And then at what point does it switch from brand awareness to then getting them to do something, right? And it doesn't necessarily always have to be, buy right then and there, but we have to see and test the waters. Do we have their attention? Right? And so maybe that is a call to action of just share. Maybe that is a call to action of just click the link in the bio, right? Maybe that's just it. And that's cool. Or you could go straight up and be like, I got this service. It's on sale. What's poppin'? Let's go. Go to the link in my bio, buy it. We could go straight up and ask them and go for the kill, or we can kind of gradually see what they're doing. But it does have to go, if that's your goal, right? Like I said, everybody has different goals in life. But if your goal is saying, yo, I want to make 100K, and you break down how that is, your social media has to kind of match with your real life goals. It's just in a different vibe. Because clearly, brand awareness is the long game to make 100K. It's not going to instantly give you that. But how are people going to buy it if they don't know it? Maybe you've already been on social media and you've already done the brand awareness. How are we doing different campaigns to get them to buy it? That makes sense?
Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Love it. Okay, good. So that first one, I think is, that's pretty clear right now. So it's like, really establish your reason for being on the platform.
Yep.
And figure out what kind of, I want to say almost like what season you're in. Are
Yep.
you in that introducing yourself stage? Are you in that ready to sell mode? Are you in that brand awareness mode? Okay, I love it. I love it. Now, and let this be just another question before we move on. What's the difference between you're making it too much about you and introducing yourself or like raising brand awareness? Like, for example, I noticed that some people struggle posting because they're like, but my entire page is about me and there are so many different parts to me.
Okay.
What's the balance to that? Is there something where it's like, does it matter? Like, I know, for example, some people are like, I want to post my family on my business page. Like, I think that's such an important piece.
Yeah.
I don't notice that that's something that you do per se. Like, it's not
have kids.
Super. Well, I get that, but I'm just saying. I'm talking about mom and grandma, but you get what I'm saying.
Mom and grandma makes an appearance once in a while.
Okay, but talk about the balance for those who struggle. Like, there are some people who lean heavy, very heavy onto the family side and personal side, where I think it, maybe the people who are following them are not necessarily seeing the purpose of it, but there are others who do it and it's great. So what's the balance of like, how do you determine what's for you to post, what's not for you to post, on some of these platforms?
I think it's not really necessarily a balance. It's more of, what do you want people to know about you, right? What is most important? And that goes more with the values as well. Like, this is your platform. And so if your family is important, which they should, I'm not saying if, that's horrible, right? But since your family is important, yet you're growing a brand, you have to do a balance of, this is who I am. I'm a business person, but I'm about my family, right? And so you're going to get to know both. And sometimes my family may come up a little bit more because that's what the season that I'm in. But I'm still going to show you what this business is about, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. I know a lot of people who are personal brands that they show their family a lot And it's not necessarily taking away from the business that they have. It actually amplifies it. And it's even better if you are like maybe a coach, like a what's his name? The father coach that we have. What's his name? Oh, he's going to kill me. Yeah, he coaches fathers. He's in Extreme Execution. Don't make me to go with the description. He has glasses. He's dark skinned.
Oh man.
He's
Sean?
in the thank you.
There we go.
Thank you. Okay. I'm like, man, he's gonna kill me, right? But like he shows his family. But it plays a part in his brand because he coaches fathers, right? And so if it's part of your brand, absolutely. Now, if it doesn't play part of your brand, then you want to kind of do more of the business and then show the family here and there, because that's going to show how human you are. I show my mom and grandma once in a while, and that gets all the love. There's a shout out to Justin. He's super dope graphic designer, right? And he gives all these different tips about branding and graphic design and all that great stuff, but he gets the most engagement on his wife. We love his wife, right? We love Black love. This is great. It's amazing, right? And so he did a post one time, was like, so you only like my wife? Well, here's a post about my wife. Since you want to do this, we're going to do a whole carousel about my wife. Okay, did you get enough of my wife? Now can you like my stuff? I'm like,
wow.
my guy, what, you all right? Is it okay? Is it all right? I'm just saying. But so even another example, here we go, because I see him laughing. Let's get him right here. So Nicky, right? Powerful speaker, right? I'm gonna leave just laughing because he actually has a sense of humor and y'all don't even know this, right? But powerful speaker. We know Nicky as being pretty much the next one up, right? When he shows his family, we are in love. Why? Because it shows that he's human. It shows that he's reachable. We can actually touch Nicky, and he seems like he has a heart. Now, if he didn't show his family, he would just seem like this ultra machine, right? That we would listen to when we're down or whatever, but we won't possibly listen to him on a regular basis because there's a disconnect, because I don't feel like you're human. I feel like you always are in speaking gigs. Now you have a podcast. You're doing too much. I don't get it. I don't understand what's happening, right? But he puts that personal side and in an equal balance, because he knows, y'all, I'm a personal brand and I want family is important to me. And so you're going to know that. My kids, my wife, they are there. However, don't get it twisted.
Yeah, that's a good word. I'm
a beast in the speaking game. So you're still going to hear this. All right. You're still going to see this new podcast. You're still going to see the guests that I have, Garth Brooks, Cam Newton, and all this stuff. You're going to see, I know, some great people. Shout out to Ink. You know what I mean? But there's a balance. And his values are equal, or even his family's even more. So that's what you're going to see. So it always goes based off your values and what are you trying to do? Because I don't think anybody is not going to give you money because you're showing your kids. That doesn't make sense at all. So, yeah, that's what I'll say about the whole balance thing.
Yeah, no, that's good. That's a good word. I like that. Okay. Take us into that next part now. So I know why I'm on the platform. I'm going to keep recapping it for everybody just so that they keep following along with us. I know why I'm on the platform. I have a tangible goal. I've picked the right platform. I may have even thought about what's the balance between being relatable and showing people that I'm human, and whether that be throwing in some of my personal hobbies or family, all of that. That's good. Now, what's the next thing that I should be focused on to really have a well-rounded content strategy?
Hold on. Wait. James says something. Hold up. I signed up to your tech squad on your grandma's birthday last year. You didn't show her, but I can always respect family shout outs. You know, grandma up there now. I can't always, you know, even though my grandma looks good. Shout out to my grandma. You know what I mean? Grandma look good. But okay, what was the question? I saw grandma. I saw grandma.
Yeah. She got distracted. She said, grandma?
Yeah, I saw grandma. You know, I love grandma.
Yeah, no, I'm saying now talk to us about that next piece for a content strategy. So I know why I'm on the platform. I got that in check. What's the next thing somebody should focus on when building that content strategy?
If it's all about what can you create? Like looking at from a Monday through Sunday vibes, right? What can you create? How many times can you show up, or do you want to show up? Right? If you're looking from Monday to Sunday, and this is why instead of just saying, oh, I'm going to be consistent, I'm going to be daily, I'm going to show up on social media, have you written it out? Like, is it there in plain sight as far as saying, you know what? I'm going to show up Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday, and if I finished with the Lord, Sunday, you know, whatever you want to do. If you're saying, you know what, I could do a bit more, cool. Now you put it on a calendar or your phone or whatever you do. It's clear as day. I'm going to show up on these days. But what do I do? Let's start out with what kind of content can you create? So that goes more on am I doing video? Am I doing quotes or checklists? Am I doing audio waves? Am I doing pictures? What am I doing, right? If I'm on Instagram, am I doing reels? Am I going live? Am I doing, a regular post? What am I doing? So let's just go from day to day, right? So we're talking about Monday. Monday, are we doing a theme? Are we saying motivational Mondays, right? So are we starting off with a certain kind of vibe so that helps you create your content, right? Remember, we're always going with the goal. What is the goal, right? So on Monday, you're saying, yo, I know I can be creating videos and checklists and, written stuff, videos and written stuff. Okay, cool. Let's do Monday, you're doing a video. What are you doing a video about based off your goals, right? Tuesday, you're doing a written thing, right? What are you writing about? Are you going in Canva? Are you doing Photoshop? Are you even outsourcing it, right? Okay, written. Now, Wednesday, going back to a video, right? And I'm only speaking from like posting one time a day. If you could do more, praise God. But sometimes we have to look at what can I create? If you could create two, why don't you just go back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, right? And if you want to theme it out, theme it out. Now, the great thing is sometimes we don't even have to think about what we have to create because there's things called holidays. If you go on social media, there's like a social media calendar of like Donuts Day and Flip Flop Day. And you could look at which one is good for your brand. Flip Flop Day doesn't necessarily go well with me. However, I'm a New Yorker, so Cheesecake Day may go very well. And I could break down my love for Junior's cheesecake. If anybody wants to get me Junior's cheesecake, I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
What?
Just saying. But I could break down the whole brand of Junior's cheesecake in honor of Cheesecake Day as I'm eating cheesecake, right? I can always make a lesson from anything, right? But there's a day for everything. When you are stumped, you're like, okay, let me at least find that. But two ways of creating content, looking at the calendar, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. going back and forth with it. And when you're stumped, go to one of these holidays or these days. Or if you're extra stumped, I always say leave a day or two to user-generated content. What do I mean by that? What I mean is that there's 17 million pieces of content out there. You don't have to create new stuff at all. There is way too much content that you can pick out, give credit to, and put your own spin to it. So you could look at it like, all right, 5 days of the week, I'm going to create maybe original content or repurpose some of my old stuff, right? And then 2 days, I'm just using other people's content. Because sometimes when people hear user-generated content, they're like, does that mean I have to look for testimonials or people, using my products and services or talking about me? No, that means use somebody else's content. And make it a lesson or make it why it's personal to you and things like that. So that's a little bit of like the calendar, what kind of content you like, where to find different stuff. You know what I mean?
I love that. So and we still haven't even gotten into the actual content creation. It's like really just setting yourself up. Know why you're there, right? Know when you're going to post, know what you like and what you're good at. It's still like really just taking inventory of your own kind of preferences and skill sets for the most part at this point.
Yep.
Love it.
She loves cheesecake.
Shout out to cheesecake.
Shout out to cheesecake. You know what I mean?
Are we ready to dive into content? Would that be the next thing yet? Like when you look at the top 3 for the most part, would the third be content, or is there something else before where like, all right, go ahead and start launching this out for your content?
I mean, identifying what kind of content you could create is important, and then creating it, right? And so identifying, picking what days you're going to do that, creating it, and then scheduling it out. Because some people, and shout out to the people who do this, because I realize this is actually a problem. Like some people are like, yo, I love creating content. I create content all day. I could turn on the camera or I could type something up. I create all day. I either forget to post or I don't think it's good enough. And this is why I'm really big on, for those people who are like that, is to schedule it out, right? The reason why I say that is because sometimes you need to schedule it out and not look at it again. Because the more you look at it, the more you're going to doubt. The more you look at it, you're going to look at other people's stuff and you're going to be like, oh my God, my life doesn't look like Nicky's and Moose. Oh my God, how is this going to work? I don't have the sound effects like Nicky and Moose. I can't do this. Or, oh, I just took it real quick with my camera. They have like DSLR cameras. They got it all transitions. It's not good enough. You're always going to continue to doubt it, right? So you're not going to post it. I say schedule it out, go like this, and open it when it's time that it posted, so you can engage with people. Because sometimes we're just stopping ourselves. Sometimes we think too much. And we're not thinking like a follower or a fan or somebody just really likes us. Like we're not thinking like them. We're thinking more for us. And our content isn't for us. Our content is for our audience. And so when we just close our eyes and press post or just schedule that out, we really put the audience ahead, because we're saying, this is for you, this ain't for me, I'm letting go, kind of thing, right? And it then also builds your consistency up, because you're showing up on the days you say you're going to show up, regardless if life hits you or not, right? So when you're creating, there's 2 ways of creating. There's the very spontaneous way, or there's the batch creation way. Now, shout out to Sarah. She's still on here. She is the queen of batch creation. Like, I think she has 8 months worth of content. I don't understand why, but she got like mad kids and like a whole life and everything like that. So I can understand, right? But she'll take a day where she'll create pretty much a whole month worth of content. She'll batch it up. Because once again, she knows her goal. She knows what platform she's catering to, right? And so now she's creating the content. She knows what content she's really dope at, and she's creating the content for a whole month. So there's no excuse of, I got to create. She doesn't have the time for it, right? So she batch creates for a whole month, and then she posts. Now, some people are more spontaneous, i.e. me. I'm spontaneous. I do not like batch creation. It actually bores me. I don't want to do it. I like real life engaging stuff, right? And I'm a creator, so like I think of new ideas on the spot. So I will go and get inspired throughout the day, and I'll create right away, and I'll post right away. Like this is the difference between spontaneous and me, which is I'll create and I'll post. I won't think twice. I'll give myself a time limit of how I'm creating, what the finished product is, and then I'll go regardless of how it looks, if there was a mistake or whatever it is, if there's captions on it or not, I'm posting. Because the more that I leave it out there, the more I'm going to be like, no, I can make this look really dope. And then, like, sometimes it sucks to be a creator because your creative vibes kind of kicks in, and now you're spending hours doing it. So I spend the time creating it, whether it is a reel, whether it is an IGTV, whatever it is, boom, I create it, I post it, I leave it to God and keep it moving, come back, engage with the people, I love you, marathon flags, and keep it moving. So there's two. There's batch and then there's spontaneous. Don't do spontaneous if you're not about that life. It's not for everybody. And if you don't have time, please don't play like you do.
I like that. You mentioned scheduling so that you don't get in your own way.
Yep.
So that you can stay consistent and just follow through on what you promised, right, for step 2. You mind sharing some, like apps or features where maybe a little bonus tip for the people?
Yeah. So let me get between. For my Instagram and Facebook people, I'm going to go with free because I love free. And it's called Facebook Creator Studio. It's free 99. You could Google it or there's an app for it, right? And the great thing about it is that you can schedule out Facebook, Instagram feed, and IGTVs. Actually has a little calendar. On the back end of things, when your account is ready to be able to monetize, you can manage all of that there. So from brand collab manager to ads and stars and all that great stuff, you can manage that right within Creator Studio, and you can manage as many pages that you have for those who have multiple pages and multiple brands. So Facebook Creator Studio is really dope. Later is a really good one for those who do all platforms. Buffer and Hootsuite are really good ones as well.
There it is. Free game. Quick recap. 3 content strategies or 3 things you should consider when developing your content strategies. Number 1, all right, identify a clear goal or objective for even having an account. Let's just say that before we even get to a platform, before you even create an account or looking at your current account, what's the purpose, right? What's the goal that you're trying to accomplish? I love that. It's a great place to start. Number 2, take inventory. What are you good at, right? What do you like to create? What are some of your natural skill sets that you want to do, right? And then lastly, You talked about this schedule concept, knowing how consistent you'll be, right? What days you're going to post, really establishing those seasons in terms of, is this a season for me where I'm really focused on brand awareness? Is this a season for me where I'm focused on building community, right? So all of those I think are great. And of course you capped it off with some apps that you can use to schedule those things out and get out of your own way. I do see some questions in the chat, Nikki. There were a couple of questions here. Maybe we can spend the last 10 minutes just going over that. Lawrence at the very bottom said, can spontaneous be a hindrance? Can spontaneous creation be a hindrance?
If you don't know how to manage it, yeah. I mean, let's think about it, right? Let me put that back up. Bloop. Here we go. And mind you, sorry, the way for it looks, I'm on my laptop. So, sometimes you wait for inspiration, right? Spontaneous people, is like, it has to hit them. And when it hits them, it's good. But if it doesn't, then it doesn't. And that could leave you with multiple days of not posting and talking to your people. So, if you know how to manage the spontaneous thing and always be inspired and be able to stop and create at that moment, then cool. Some people don't have that luxury of stopping and creating at that moment. You'll have an idea. If this is what I'll say. If you are spontaneous and you can't create at that moment, at least write it down. Get your phone, put the note app, and write down the idea. So when you can create in whatever the next hour, or maybe when you get home and things like that, you could create it and post it. But you have to promise yourself you're going to do it that day and not tomorrow. So that's what I say.
I like that. I like that. Lawrence also dropped another question. And folks, if y'all got any questions, man, feel free to just drop it in the chat. We'll go ahead and just answer those and anything related to your content strategy. Even if
don't forget to hit that super chat. Don't forget to hit that super chat. Go ahead, my bad.
Yeah. No, I think Lawrence also said somewhere up in the chat, he said, how can you transition from Facebook to LinkedIn? What's the difference? Or how can you make that transition going from a Facebook vibe to a LinkedIn setup?
So this is the thing I learned about LinkedIn, right? Because I've been a little active on it lately. It's a different audience. It doesn't necessarily mean it's a different vibe. I think LinkedIn gives you this whole, you have to be professional and blah, 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 blah. I mean, 9 out of 10 times you're adding value. And that's all the platform ever really needs. It doesn't matter what the platform name is. It just needs value of that particular lane and industry. So it's not too much of a difference. You just have to be active. I don't change up my stuff. I repurpose my content. That's all I do. I repurpose my content. Shout out to Xander, who works at LinkedIn, that I met on Clubhouse, because he was like, yo, your content that you're putting on Instagram really needs to be on LinkedIn. So that doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to stop posting on Instagram. That means the best ones that I've done, I'm going to put on LinkedIn and see how it works out. And it's actually working out pretty well. It's actually kind of interesting. So I'm with it. And I see the super chat. Shout out to the Lot J. Look, I'm not messing names up here. You know what I mean? I'm not messing names up. Shout out to our last review of the week. Because somebody had like what was that username? Like ML7048. It sounded like a prison number. It was horrible.
Yeah, it was back to the AOL screen name type vibe. Yeah, that was a throwback.
But it's crazy. Okay, side note, because it's your Apple ID, right? And depending how long ago you signed up for Apple, like it could be a little crazy. It's like, I'm just going to put whatever. Some are like, and it's funny because I forgot who it was, but they saw their username. They're like, man, I got to update that. I haven't been that username for like 10 years. I'm like, yeah, reveals you. Change your Apple ID. I'm getting a lot of Apple Pub today. I get a lot of Apple Pub.
Yeah, Apple got a lot of smoke today. You got some early on. Yeah.
Just saying. What else we doing?
Let's see. I see. Is Twitter a good platform for non-visual content?
Yes.
Or is Facebook better?
No, Twitter. We expect words from Twitter. We expect visuals from Facebook. Like, we can accept words from Facebook, but we really expect just words. Now, GIFs are super loved on Twitter and everything like that. But we really don't go to Twitter for a full-blown video. Really don't. We go for the conversation. So if you love to have conversation or random thoughts, go to Twitter.
Love it.
That's it.
Twitter's a good vibe. I don't see any other questions, but
shout out to y'all. Yeah. So, it's already 8:56. Where did this time go?
It's about that time.
Jesus.
It's about that time.
Real quick. Shameless plug. Go check the podcast out. Right? I'm not ending yet, so don't go nowhere. I'm not ending yet. 2, right? What do people do? And I'm gonna ask Moose. What do people do when you don't have anything to create? The reason why I ask this is even myself, like, y'all know I'm like a whole live queen, right? But after like these lives, I go on IG and I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna say? I don't even know what I'm gonna say. This is crazy. I don't get it. So Moose, what do you do when you're kind of stumped on something?
Yeah. So what I've learned to do, man, especially because we're creating so much in-house content, there's like several different calls during the week. There's, not to mention, some trainings, of course, the podcast and all of that. I spend more time studying and I'm taking notes of things that I'm listening to, right? Now, here's the key to this, at least for me. I don't want to take it verbatim or just word for word. It's like, oh, I heard Nikki say this on her live, so I'm going to copy that and then spin that.
Right.
At least without giving some sort of credit. It's cool if you do it once, but then really you're just becoming an echo. But I've really started to
Oh my God.
ask myself.
You triggered something. Go ahead, my bad.
You're good. No, I was going to say, I really started to ask myself, do I agree with this person? And oftentimes I try to challenge their thought process. Like if they're saying, oh, the way you should do content is 1, 2, 3. I'm challenging myself to think like, yo, can it be done 3, 2, 1 though? Wait, but can I do 2, 3, 1? Right? Just because I want to get myself to break through. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Just go against the grain a little bit. So yeah, I would say, man, that's been something that's super helpful. So then I use my Twitter drafts as a lot of those thoughts. So I might come across a quote and I'll put the quote in my Twitter draft. I'll write something underneath it of like how I want to convey that message or where it would connect in a part of like a keynote or a training that we do. So that's been my way of like, yo, go against the grain, because no movie is cool without a villain. It's like, a movie with just good stuff happening is not really fun. It's like, yo, where's the villain at? So I try and take that approach, because naturally I'm the nice guy. Like in real life, I'm pretty cool and like nice. So I try and be like, yo, go against the grain and see what you could cook up from there.
I'm with that. And shout out to the Bronx Girl Writes. I see you with the super chat. I like the name. Can I say that? I like the name. Maybe because you're from the Bronx. I don't know. I'm just saying.
New York in the house.
You know what I mean? I realized that my cheat code is Clubhouse. I feel like it's like a good and a bad, because Clubhouse is way too much information now. It's like too much going on. But whenever you're stumped, you just go in one room and you just listen and you can leave, right? Because you're either going to find a question that wasn't answered right, or not the way you would have answered, not necessarily wrong, right? Or the conversation sparked up some kind of thought process for you, right? You kind of always want to go where conversations are happening, especially within your lane, right? So for anybody who gets really stumped, go in the Clubhouse, to be honest. It helps. Now, what I will say is don't do what Moose said earlier, which is take it and just kind of like throw it up in the mouth and everything like that. There's one person, I'm not going to try to say names. So there's one person, right, that I was in Clubhouse with. And every room this person would go to, they would create a room and then just spit the same information. Sometimes they'd be like, I heard from this room that if you are having problems of creating, then go to Clubhouse. Yo, what are you talking about, right? And then was quoting. This is what I don't like. Let me do this. This is what I don't like. I don't like if you don't do it personally. If you've never tried it, and you're acting as if you are an expert on it, not that you're learning, not that you're just sharing information, that you're like, this came from you and God and everything kind of vibes, please sit down. Please, because it's not even called repurposing at that point. It just calls that you are a fake, and we can't believe you because you didn't do it, right? So there's nothing wrong with learning and sharing what you learn. Shout out to everybody who's in my text group that does the NFT things with me, right? Because as I learn, I'm spitting out information. Everybody who listens to the podcast, as we read something, we're giving out information, right? So we're not deeming ourselves to be experts. We're sharing what we know, and we're sourcing, like, this is where I get it from. I am not sitting here saying, yeah, so you created from this, that, and the third, and you were going to have the most amazing NFT. No, I'm still learning. I'm still learning. I'm about to create one in about a week or two. It's going to be a whole vibe, and I'm going to document the process, right? There's a difference between sharing what you learn and playing as if it is your information, right? And it's going to get caught up, and people are not going to listen to you because one person's going to catch on, and another person's going to catch on, and another person's going to catch on. And you're like, yo, why are you saying this? You don't even do this in real life. This is not what you do in real life. I don't understand. Anyways, let me, as Jose says, digress.
I digress.
Anyways, it's 9:04. We're like 4 minutes over 4. So we love that you're here. We love everybody who's in the comments, super, super active. It's because of you we're here. Shout out to everybody who was part of the super chat vibes. Look, hold on. Let me put this here. You see it? Have several seats. All right? Several. Sit down. Right now. Anyways, go check out the podcast. Text it to somebody. All right? Text it to somebody. If this live even gave you some kind of value, text it to somebody as well. You know what I mean? Text it to somebody. Be like, look, you got to watch this. They broke it all the way down. Moose asked the most greatest questions because Nikki was just going off. And then he was like, hold on. Break this down a little bit more. You know what I mean? He always does this for me.
Clear it up for the people one time.
Moose. Okay. All right, real quick.
Yeah.
Maybe this is a little teaser. has anything this week so far, because it's only been like 2 days, but has anything this week so far inspired you that you may want to bring it in for the next podcast? I'm trying to get it exclusive, people. I'm trying to get it exclusive. All right, I'm trying to do it. Hear me?
Absolutely. I'm going to say 2 words: ownership and baseball. That's all I'm going to say. Ownership and baseball. Yeah. What? And for those who know me, oh man, yeah, no, that's big. Those are like my 2 loves. Baseball is my first love. So yeah, no, that gets me hyped. Ownership and baseball, next. That's all I'm gonna say. Next podcast, listen up.
They can't get more? They can't get more?
No, y'all gonna have to wait on it.
I was trying. So if you want to Google ownership in baseball, maybe you'll find out. I don't know. I want to give you a clue, but I don't want to. I don't know. I don't know. Just definitely next Tuesday we'll be here. Podcast comes out 9 a.m. Eastern, and we are here 8 p.m. Eastern on YouTube every Tuesday. We're here.
Check us out.
Hopefully, I have my computer back. You know, we can pray. Everybody pray for me, because I'm really going to. I'm sounding really spoiled lately. So anyways, we love you.